So this year I will have been a Hospiscare nurse for 20 years. I was really lucky that I came here as a student on my last placement, and I loved it so much that a job came up and they very kindly gave it to me. And I've never wanted to do anything else. A palliative care nurse role is really special because it gives you that one-on-one time with patients that in other roles you just don't have the time to do. A few other roles in nursing where actually it would be considered a real priority to sort out a party for someone or sit down next to them and watch their favourite television programme. And whilst those things don't sound particularly nursey, one of the main things about being a nurse is communication with patients, and that's when we get to do all those wonderful things. It's different looking after a palliative care patient because the goals that you set are the patient's goals. They're not the healthcare professional goals. So one of the first things we ever say to a patient is, what's important to you? There are several moments in my career that I can really remember special times with patients, but I think the one that stands out for me the most was many years ago. We were looking after a young lady who had a 4-year-old daughter, and at the time my little girl was 4 as well. So we had quite a lot in common, and I just said to her, would you like to see your daughter? And she said, I really don't think a hospice is a place to bring a child, and I don't want her to be frightened. So I just said to her, well, we've got lots of ways of sorting visiting. So maybe in the garden, you could be pushed out on your bed. We could get some drinks, we should get some snacks, maybe have a game with her, just make it as light-hearted as possible. So we talked it through, and actually she decided that would be a good idea. So the day staff sorted that out for me. And when I came on the next night duty, she just held my hand and just said thank you. That was the most special moment I've ever had with my daughter, and things like that you never forget, and that was really special. People think that people who work in hospices are quite sad, and of course there are sad times, but there's a huge amount of laughter, of fun. One of our staff is renowned for wearing silly hats, and it sounds so simple, but sometimes I come on duty and they say, where's the guy with the silly hat? I enjoy my work because I get time to do what's important. And for me, I have spent many years being a nurse on the ward. I worked in the hospice care team in the hospital. I've done some community work, and I'm now really privileged to be the ward manager. And in all of those roles, I always have time for patients and families. So yes, there are certain tasks I have to get done in a management role, but my manager always says to me, the patient comes first, and if you have to leave those tasks to go and see a patient, that's what you do. And that's why this is the best job in the world. You couldn't ask for a more joyful job, actually.